Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss The Predator, starring Boyd Holbrook, Trevante Rhodes, Jacob Tremblay, Keegan-Michael Key, Olivia Munn, Sterling K. Brown, and Thomas Jane, and directed by Shane Black. Now, I did see this movie twice. First time was in IMAX, second time was in the regular form, and I'm going to tell you, I'll do the reviewing when I get to the movie, but yeah, I like Shane Black as a director, and I did like The Nice Guys from his last movie before this one. And I did review Iron Man 3, you can see that review. And I like some of his other movies, so let's just get into this. The movie opens with a spaceship fight between a classic Predator and a much bigger Predator called Upgrade. And it lands in a forest where Quinn McKenna, played by Boyd Holbrook, who I've seen before in this movie, for example. And I always think of him as a bad guy, but he's a soldier on a mission, until the classic Predator ship crashes in the forest. And I don't like how there's a worse Predator, like I just brought up than the classic Predator. And I said this last week as well, and I'm going to hate it again even more here. And as for Boyd Holbrook's character, it's a pretty weak character and performance, but he's better off as an antagonist than a protagonist. He steals the Predator's mask and equipment. Felt like an odd choice for me. I like when they bring the score from the first movie back to this movie. I thought it was pretty neat. Quinn mails the Predator's mask and equipment to put his own family at risk, and didn't make any sense to me. His son Rory, played by Jacob Tremblay, is an actor I enjoy in other movies, like these two movies, for example. But my question is, why is he here? I thought when he was in the classroom having seizures or autistic attacks, and the teacher plus his classmates just leave him behind. That doesn't make any sense to me. Dr. Casey Brackett, played by Olivia Munn, is probably the most cliched doctor character in all the movies. I think the worst one, in my opinion, would have to be Denise Richards in The World Is Not Enough, in a James Bond movie. Not just Predator, but other movies. And I just don't care, but I do like Olivia Munn as an actress, to be honest. Quinn's inmates, or should I say loony inmates, are Nebraska Williams, played by Trevante Rhodes, Coyle, played by Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele, Lynch the Magic Man, Oddman Nettles, and Baxley, played by Thomas Jane, who was the Punisher at one point. And let's be fucking clear, these characters are ridiculous and completely make this movie stupid to fucking death. Traeger, played by Sterling K. Brown, who I just reviewed pretty recently in Black Panther, introduces Dr. Brackett to the Predator, and she says, "You are one beautiful motherfucker," when the line is supposed to be ugly. And that switch around was too much for me. The classic Predator attacks the scientist trying to discover what it is, and Casey almost gets herself killed, but because she doesn't have a gun yet, I found it kind of funny how the Predator just lets her go and shoots it shoots a human gun. Quinn, with his loony inmates, get the guards out of the bus and go free. Meanwhile, the Predator is escaping. Casey follows it, was a bit too silly, and Nebraska, driving the bus, gets everyone to safety, including Casey, which I found very much cringeworthy. Same with the Predator killing all the SWAT team and using one of the hands as a thumbs up. It was so cringeworthy. Oh my god. Baxley says to Casey, "Eat your pussy," when he really means sheesh, your pushy. Was such an uncomfortable scene. I don't think I like the characters in maybe this movie. We'll get there at the end, but Rory goes trick-or-treating with the Predator mask and equipment on, and I thought, what a stupid kid to be doing that shit. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Jacob Tremblay as an actor, but unfortunately, he landed a very bad role here. Now, like last week's movie, there's predator dogs here, and they can breathe on Earth. And when they're bleed green, it looks so fake, and the others one sticks around with the humans, and I thought that was fake. I thought the fight between Classic Predator versus Upgrade, I think I'm calling it, was a pretty cool fight, and that's the tallest Predator, by the way. That's called an Upgrade Predator. It was a pretty cool fight, and I honestly loved the brief fight. It reminded me of a Transformer Decepticon robot, this Upgrade Predator. I don't know what to call it anymore. Nettles crushes on Casey, and I thought she wasn't into him, but at the same time she might be. It doesn't look like much, and it felt way too forced. Traeger holds Casey hostage while Quinn is getting the shit kicked out of him, and he kills his torturers, which felt very cheap. Suddenly Traeger takes Rory to the Predator ship, and Rory tells Traeger to go fuck himself. Now, as an 8-year-old kid telling a grown man to go fuck himself, I felt was unnecessary, and the loony inmates come to the rescue with Quinn and Casey, which felt a little bit realistic, but not really, to be honest. And the Upgrade Predator comes in and kills all the government agents, except for Traeger. But when we get to his death, was pretty stupid. Everyone in the loony inmates gets killed, except for Quinn and Casey in Nebraska, and I don't give a shit. When the Upgrade Predator takes off with its ship, and that's when Nebraska dies. I don't care. I just want the fucking credits to start rolling. The fight between Quinn, Casey, and Rory versus the Upgrade Predator was a silly cliched fight. I was taken back to Dutch versus the Predator. So the fight's over, and Rory gets a job discovering how the Predator suit looks and works. And now Quinn is planning on using it. It should have been an alternate ending on the Blu-ray, because that's the worst fucking ending ever and really fucking confusing. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 3.8 out of 10. I do like the brief fight between the Classic Predator and the Upgrade Predator, and the theme score, but that's all I liked about this fucking movie. This dialogue is cringeworthy and the most uncomfortable, and the effects look really fake. The story is completely dreadful. Please don't see this fucking movie, bottom line. Please don't go to the theaters or rent this or binge it or whatever. Don't watch this whatsoever. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for The Predator, and until next time, knock knock.